Ante,
Ja mislim, koliko mi se čini da je dosta dobro.
sviđa mi se atmosfera.
O tako, odlično.
Sviđa mi se atmosfera. So this is a first fireside chat, is it?
Fire what?
Fireside
Fireside
chat. It is a really popular type of chat because have you heard about the startup grind?
Startup grind.
Startup grind.
Startup grinds.
Yeah, it's a big organization for developing of startups and entrepreneurship minded things.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard about it?
No.
I think that
I heard about Grindr.
Grindr. What is Grindr?
You don't know what Grindr is?
No.
That's funny. Grindr is like the Tinder for gay people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was pretty sure.
Do we really need to start like this?
No. I was just mentioning it. Probably you knew it. I don't know.
You know what? Usually I don't have a format for the show. So usually I start off really open.
Mm-hmm. Just
There is
speaking.
There is a blank space in front of us and we can really put whatever paint we want on it.
Mm-hmm.
We can use whatever style we want.
Mm-hmm.
And we just make it a fun.
Talk.
But every time I start a podcast with saying like this and after it I say, but there is some kind of a structure.
Okay, I'm confused now.
You are confused. Yeah, a lot of people are confused. So usually I start with the question of whether you can say to the audience what is your background story, where were you born, can you say something about your parents, about your siblings, about the city that you were born in,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
your early days, your childhood, what kind of a memories do you have,
Mm-hmm.
what impact does this part of your life had on your life right now?
That's awesome. It's really awesome. Because you don't think about this situation a lot in your life. Like, I was never thinking about that since the last couple of years. Very, very good. So, I'm born in 1986 in Osijek, which is a pretty small town in Croatia. Well, it's actually the third biggest, correct me please.
It is fourth
biggest city
in Croatia. Yeah.
in Croatia, which is kind of crazy because it's just about 100,000 people there. And so my parents moved from Bosnia and Herzegovina because they are born in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's in Livno. Livno is pretty close to the coast of Croatia, but on the Bosnian side, but mostly populated by Croatians overall, which is pretty interesting. And they moved in the 80s, they moved to Osijek, and yeah, that's the city where I was born. And I think I always thinking about this city because I left the city when I was 5 years old. I mean, I met there a lot of great people, and most of my family also lives there, my cousins, my uncles and aunts and so on. So it was for me also kind of hard to leave this place. So we left during the war in '92. We left to Germany, to Munich actually, because my dad worked in Germany as a Gastarbeiter.
For the people
guest
doesn't
worker.
know,
Yeah.
for the people that doesn't know what this term means.
Gastarbeiter.
Yeah.
It's a guest worker. So it's kind of, you're working on a how it's called, Baustelle. Baustelle.
Yeah. I don't know what was the
Mostly he was working for the subtrain in Germany, for the subtrains.
metro.
Metro.
Uh-huh,
Yes.
okay.
In Germany. So that was kind of also a lot of interesting stories. So he also cut his finger. That's one of his most famous characteristic from a dad. Yeah, so he worked there since the 70s, and then during the war he just told the whole family, okay, we will move now to Germany, to Munich. And so we moved, and that was kind of a crazy experience. People don't know how we lived in our first years in Munich. So we lived together with the family, with the brother from my father, with his family together in a, wow, let's say it was 10 or 15 square meters apartment.
In Osijek?
No, in Munich.
Oh.
Yeah, for about 1 or 2 years. So we've been, I don't know, probably 10, 12 people in this small room for 1 year.
This was really the first moments.
Yes.
When you arrived
yes.
there.
Yeah. The first year. Let's say the first 2 years, I would say. So I think in the second year we moved to in between the house, like just one floor underneath. But actually we've been also 6 people in a 15 square meter apartment. It was crazy,
Crazy.
Just something completely unbelievable. And I mean, I was also 5 years old, and my whole center of my life was in Osijek until this point. I had friends, I had family, and so on, and they just moved me out of this the center of my life, and it was, yeah, well, very interesting, very hard in the beginning. So as I said, my dad worked a lot, like crazy as fuck, and yeah, just making money for the family, because I have 1, 2, 3 siblings. There's a story, probably, I don't know, probably we can talk about that later. So we're not anymore 3 siblings, 4, excuse me. So we're now just 3, which also hit our family actually very hard. Yeah, so that was what my dad was working, and my mother, well, she was cleaning a lot, and at a lot of families and companies, and yeah, from 6 in the morning to 8 in the evening, and they also had 4 children to feed, their stomachs in between. So
not an easy task to do, man.
It was tough.
Not an easy task.
Yeah.
So why you moved to? I'm just asking this question. I know the answer, but it is funny for me to interview someone that I really know really good. It's funny for me, but it is also refreshing somehow. So for the audience that doesn't know, Ante is my cousin, and he's one of my favorite people on planet Earth. I don't know anyone on planet Mars, but
so not on the Mars.
He's one of the most popular for me, in my eyes. And what was the question? I asked you, why did you move from Osijek when you were 5 years old?
It was because of the Yugoslavian war in the 90s. So I think my dad was very afraid about his family, and he just saw the chance to move the family from Croatia to Germany into a very safe place. And Germany at that time opened their doors for for immigrants at that time, at that point, and so we moved. Yeah. I still can remember some scenes, some things happening at that time. So when we played in Croatia on the street, like where our house was, that we played soccer on the street, and we were just starting like the alarm, like or no, how was it? It was sirens, like this. Yeah, right. It was.
It was not like an emergency. Yeah.
And then you heard like people are shooting, like, and we're just running into the house. Yeah. Then some very bad things happened at that time.
Those times were really tough. really tough times. We were kids when those things were happening.
Yeah.
I was around 6. So the war started in 1991. I was 6 then. You were 5.
Mm.
And it is really hard for us to make it a vivid picture of it, but for sure I can remember those feelings. I can remember those moments.
Fear.
Yes, I can remember
brutal.
the fear. Yeah, I can remember the fear. Yeah.
It's probably also something that people don't understand. Probably we don't understand it either, right? What we have, like, I mean, it was real, right?
It was
So
danger. It was not fear. It was danger.
Yeah.
It was real danger. Yeah.
Real danger.
Life
like
danger.
People are shooting people 2 kilometers away from where we live. Like, wow, that's interesting. That's really crazy.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking now, like 25 years ago, is it 20 yeah, something around that, 25,
27 years ago.
27 years
when
ago.
the war started. Yeah, 27. Oh fuck, we are old.
Oh yeah, we are old. Thank you.
A little bit old. In the best years.
Yeah.
But oh my god, when you think about it, if the war starts right now, when 2 of us are in our 30s, in our early 30s,
Yeah.
if it starts right now, to be a completely different experience, to be, I don't know, I suppose that it left some kind of a impact on us subconsciously that we are not really aware of it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that something could be there.
Yeah. Sure.
Something could be there, yeah. So you moved. Did your whole family moved when you were 5, or did your?
Yeah, most of them, I think. I can't remember. I was very young. What I can remember is that my sister stayed in Croatia. She moved at some time. At some point, she was also in Germany, but she stayed, which was kind of crazy also for my parents.
Mm.
But yeah, but let's say the whole family moved. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, when I think about the product that we are, when I think about the product that you are right now, mentally, emotionally, I always think of those early days. I always think of parenting. I always think of the environment and the experiences that really that we dive in, that we are dived in since this early age. So you said you were born in Osijek, and your parents moved from Bosnia to Osijek for a better life, and then the war starts, and then you moved all together in Germany, where you live in a small apartment. Almost 12, was it 12 of you in the beginning?
Something
and
around that, yeah.
Your parents are working really tough jobs, blue collar type jobs, to really
Just to stay alive.
just to stay alive,
To have
yeah,
bread
just
and
to stay
water
alive.
at home
And what kind of a so if you think about the context of the story, or about the environment, about everything that was happening around you, and what kind of an impact do you think that this left on you?
the whole situation at the time, you mean?
The whole situation, the struggle.
The struggle at the beginning when we moved to Germany. Well, now I would say, at that time was hard to describe how hard it was. Now I'm very grateful for that time, because one thing I know, that I'm now a lot tougher, because I know how to explain it the best is
The value,
to have nothing. I know how it feels to have nothing and to fight to gain something. Yeah, and that's an experience I'm very proud and very grateful to have that.
Yeah.
It grounds me always. If I'm going too far in my mind and everything with my experience, with my whatever I'm doing in my life, and I'm going too far, I just know how it is, and I know how to fight and how much I need to fight.
You know, you said to me that you have some kind of a drive inside of you to really help other people, and I always think to myself, why do we cling to something in life? Why do we wanna do some particular thing? And right now, when you are speaking about this, I see that for me, the person that is most empathetic is the person that struggled the most, that felt the struggle, that was going on through some hardships, some hard times, and he can really reverse it, and he can put himself in the shoes of other person,
yes, absolutely,
and really feel his pain.
Sure, because I mean, the pain you're feeling like inside of you, you don't want that other people are feeling like this. You know what I mean? So it's for me hard that somebody that somebody should make the same experience as we, or as me personally did, and I want to avoid it for other people.
You want to free them from that pain.
Yes.
But it is really interesting that we humans, we always try to avoid pain, but then after the pain passed, we always say to ourselves, I'm the most proud of that moment because I survived.
Yeah.
I survived and I learned.
Yeah.
So I'm much tougher.
There, okay.
Why do we want to help others to avoid pain? You see, in this in all interviews so far, I asked my guests the questions of parenting. So this is a right moment to ask that question. You know, those experiences, and your parents really tried their best in given circumstances. They really tried best, and a lot of parents today, they really try to do the thing that you said right now that you wanna do. You wanna help others to be free of pain, to be free of struggle. But if you put someone in incubator, then there is no growth there. They cannot grow as a people. So what do you think about that?
Isn't that a right balance? Like, you know, there is this, I think we say that in Croatian, that stupid people learn from their own mistakes, and intelligent people learn from the mistakes from the others.
Right?
So I think it's kind of a good balance. I know the point, I know what you want to point out, but I think we live here to help always each other to make the best, or to avoid mistakes, or to help each other in you know, moving forwards, to avoid mistakes, and so on and so on. But I think in that point you're absolutely right, that people need to do mistakes to grow. But as I said, to just let people doing mistakes, it's just, you know, they would just do mistakes. Well, then why are people writing books and making vlogs and podcasts and so on, so on? So what's the point of that, right? Or why do big companies exist? Because they're solving a lot of problems. So, you know, they're helping me to avoid doing mistakes. So why do I have today email and so on? Like,
there is also the right,
or autocorrect on the keyboard, you know.
I hate autocorrect.
Yeah.
It always corrects the wrong for me.
It always corrects you because you're always wrong.
He's correcting me. I don't like to be corrected at all. Yeah, you know.
But there is, excuse me, well, as you know me, that I'm a very pretty religious and spiritual person, and that I have some crazy beliefs. So people thinking that I'm completely crazy because I believe in Jesus, and but there is for me a very a lot of philosophical outcome from that whole story and the Bible and so on, and there is always the one thing that through pain to freedom. It's always the same story. It's just repeated from the Old Testament to the New Testament to the how it's called, the resurrection of Jesus and so on. So it's always through pain to freedom, through pain to freedom. It's kind of something that's kind of a rule in this world, how it's built, that we always need to suffer to get free, which is pretty interesting. And one thing is always, as you said, is it good or is it bad to avoid it? I would say, I think it's, accepted that it's worked that way, that you need to suffer. Accept it as something positive, as something good, which is when I was, well, as you know, I was kind of this Catholic guy and so on, but I lost completely my beliefs, my faith, and my religion and so on. And when I turned around at some point in my life, and was reading this whole Bible through it, and I think one of my best takeaways is accept the suffer, because it will make you free. It will set you free. And since then, my state of mind based on suffering is like, awesome. I'm grateful to suffer right now. It just changes my perspective on suffering completely, like crazy. Well, I'm not happy if I suffer. I'm not happy, but I'm like, calm down, it's okay. Just go through the process, and if it's done, you will be much better than you was before. Awesome.
Yeah, I guess that we need to find the right balance there. If the balance exists in this spectrum of pain and pleasure, I don't know, someone is really, I suppose, unlucky to have pain most of the time and then some pleasure. But if you think about it, if someone has pleasure 80-90% of the time and a little bit of pain, or maybe if someone have 100% of pleasure all the time, then I think that this will not be a good state for us. Just like one author said that I was reading his book about, he said that first two needs of a human is certainty and uncertainty. So it is pleasure and pain. There is a really paradox here, because we want certainty. When too much of a certainty, it's not good anymore. We want uncertainty.
Yeah.
We want variety.
Okay.
We are really complex.
we're very complex, and we talked about that yesterday. Also to refer to the Bible again, is what I was talking yesterday to you. That the beginning of the whole of our suffer story, as it is written in the Bible, is that they eat it from the tree of the wisdom between good and bad. And that's my personal point, that I don't want to judge about what is good or bad. So when you say suffering is good for us, you told us, right? So
Yep.
why do I judge that suffering is bad? If it's not, it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It's not like joy, sure, but it's good.
Yeah.
And I don't want to judge that, right?
Yeah.
I want to in the best case, I want to judge it as something good, and this is what we people are doing. So, yeah, all the time. So this is also something which is for me very, very interesting. That one of the first written things ever is that the biggest mistake people are doing is, you know, judging between good and bad, which is creates the most evil things.
So let's move a little bit.
That's
it is. I knew that we're going to go really deep and philosophical about it. But what I'm really surprised about, I'm not surprised, but a little bit, that you know, we spent three days here together in Berlin, and we really covered a lot of topics.
As always.
And going
As
really,
always.
really big philosophical on it. And we still have things to cover, which is really interesting. Yeah. So let's move a little bit further in your story. So your whole family moved, but your sister stayed in Osijek, and then there you are. So it was 5 of you. Your brother and your sister and your parents, you went to Munich, and you really struggled there. You lived in a small apartment for a few years, and then really your parents worked really tough blue-collar jobs, and you and your siblings,
We help them.
yes, you helped them. And can you go in the story a little bit further? When you started to go to school, how was it? Would you did you have I don't know, problems of being accepted there or really being understood?
Yeah, sure.
Did you help your parents really go by day in and day out, and just tell the audience a little bit more about it?
Yeah, well, our parents. So my parents worked, as you said all those blue-collar jobs, and you know, they were cleaning like how it's called, from a doctor, the place.
Oh, it's okay.
His office, whatever. A lot of offices. We cleaned the house where we were living. And stuff like that, and so when I was going to the school, and after the school, we should help our parents at some places, you know, go to some offices and cleaning those offices, you know, like cleaning the garbage, which was actually my job, or it's called
Shoveling.
yeah, shoveling and whatever stuff like
cleaning
that.
the floors. So.
Yeah, cleaning the floors. And so on, and yeah, it was, you know, also a language gap. You have the first years, it's also losing your identity, you know. You're also a foreigner, you're an immigrant, you're not that accepted at the first moment from all people, which was also pretty interesting. Then, we had probably also one point when we moved from that first apartment to another apartment, which was also in Munich, and you know, Munich is a pretty snobby place, and there have been some, you know, the new place was in a pretty snobby area of Munich, which was kind of interesting, and you know, people always had more than we had, and it was for me, you know, like, why do they have more than we, and why can we have that, you know, was... You know, you're a child, you don't think about things, and you know, we've been pretty, I mean, from the perspective of my parents, we've been rich, okay, like really rich, but from a, you know, our perspective, our parents are telling us always we had everything, you know, but I know that we didn't have everything, you know. And yeah, and that was very interesting. So, and you know, people are judging you. Kids are very bad, right? Because they're very honest.
Yeah.
Could be very hurtful. And I had also a lot of hurtful experiences in that point, you know. And yeah, you're right. So you're not that accepted, right? As you want to be accepted, and you don't look that cool and that good as other people do. You know, wearing this cool brands. Always, at our time was actually FUBU, South Pole, and buffalo shoes and whatever. It's so ugly, it's unbelievable. And we didn't have that, you know. We were just wearing completely different brands, which was not so cool, you know. And you were judged by those people and hurted by those people, like hurted with their mouth, with you know, not yelling at you, but you know.
Yeah, making a fun of you.
Yeah, a lot of fun of you, and
bullying.
And they were fighting you also, you know, because
there were fights also. Yeah.
Right.
So, I think that a lot of people enjoy speaking about their childhood because I don't know if we think about it that often, but it can bring some.
I hate it.
Good and bad memories.
I don't like.
Good and bad memories.
I don't like to talk about that point at all.
Really?
I just want to forget it.
Really?
Yeah. For me personally, I think my parents would shoot me if they hear this, but honestly, I don't have a good childhood. Yeah.
Could you think about something that was good from the childhood? Some memories that were really nice?
Hard, really.
When you came back to Osijek to visit your family.
That was good actually.
Was it?
Right.
Okay.
When I was coming back to Osijek and also coming back to Livno and to see the family and actually also your friends, like your real friends, because you know you're Croatian, you live with this mentality and with this culture inside of you, and you can live that in Germany like this, right? Yeah, that was good. That was great actually. Yeah, that was a great experience.
Yeah. Tell me, so when we are speaking about your childhood and these early days, could you tell me maybe, what was your relationship with school then? So what was your relationship with education then? And we will see what kind of a relationship with education do you have right now?
It was something I have to do. It wasn't a choice.
Who said that?
Me.
Your parents, your father?
Yes, sir. Of course. There was no choice.
Yeah.
I had to do it, and I did it. And that was also my performance.
So poor performance in school, huh?
Well, it wasn't poor, but it wasn't good.
So erase the whole childhood.
Yeah, it was hard. Yeah.
Okay, it was hard, but
yeah.
Right now, looking back on everything that you really went through, what are the biggest takeaways? What are the biggest lessons from this part of your life?
That I really need to be tough. Really, like really. You need to understand that my parents were always working, and then they were tired. You know, they didn't play with me, like and taking time and going swimming or to a sea or like skiing or whatever. They were just fucking tired, all the time. You know, and when I thinking about that time and judging my parents at that time, I was a fucking asshole because I didn't understand it. But now it's just like, wow, yeah, sure, of course, it just makes absolutely sense how they live, and that's how you've been also treated, you know. I mean, I'm so lucky because they pushed us always to the limits. Also in school, it was never enough, you know. If you was good in school, that there was a, you know, you could be better. And always I came back and I was like, wow, look, I have a great note. And I was like, no, why don't you have a plus, you know, or a star or whatever? I'm like,
so rhyming for progress.
You know, yeah, and always working hard and working hard and working hard and working hard. So that was my challenge. This also how I started to work. You know, I helped my parents and
yeah. But what is really important to you?
Life is tough. That's the outcome.
Yes.
That's like the takeaway. and I'm pretty happy to not live in a family like in a wealthy family. So this is probably, or could have been, a point where I don't know how it is to, you know, working hard for the things you want to achieve. I think this is something for wealthy families or children growing up in wealthy families, which is what's the opposite of benefit, which is
yeah, and I think that you really learned the benefits of the hard work.
Yeah.
Because you could really you could really take advantage of it right now in your career. So whenever I was whenever I think of you, whenever I speak to someone about you, I always tell them one key point that I want to tell them is, oh my God, I was always so jealous of him, because when he was 11 years old, he already knew what he wanted to do in life. So he fell in love with the design when he was 11 years old. He started studying about it, reading books about it, and really educating himself about it. And it's a big privilege, it's a big fucking privilege to find your calling that early in life. So it is like I say, it is you found your element, you find your strength, the thing that you can the thing that you can really shine in, and be of a greater service to the community around you. And do you know how this happened? Could you maybe give a tip, an advice to someone listening right now? How this came about? How did you know that this is your thing?
Yeah, as you said, it's a privilege, and for me it's a blessing, it's a gift. You know, I received. It's something I didn't choose, honestly. It was just there. I think it starts because I'm questioning a lot. Like, this is what I do, this is how my brain works. I don't know how to live different than to question everything. And the question everything is, so to be very, it's called that, znatiželjan.
Curious.
Yeah, very curious. You know? And when I still can really remember those points in my life. I was 6 or 7 years old. Really, I mean, I can probably 99% not remember what happened at that time, but there was this moment when I was sketching myself.
Okay.
With a beard.
Okay.
It's fascinating, right? Because you know me, that I'm a guy who's wearing a beard.
Yeah.
Like, now it's very short, but whatever. And I can remember this. So I can remember that I was sketching, and that I was like, this fascination to creativity was like born inside of me, and I started to questioning objects, like how they affect, and what's the effect of this like object, like from this orange juice, or why is Fanta like, or Coke, why they're designing their bottles how they do, right? Why is this flyer looking like this? And that happened like really when I was 8, 9 or 10 years. That was very, very crazy. And this is something, you know, I was so curious about those things, like, why is this orange? Why is this like in this material? Why does that work that way? And so on and so on. And my mother told me a few years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago, she told me, wow, Ante, you know what? So we had the scene, the whole family was like in the same room, and she was like, oh, you was just annoying child, just an annoying child. It was crazy because you asked so much questions, and I couldn't answer all of those things because I didn't know that, you know. But you asked everything. Why is this like that? Why is this like that? Why this works like that? And this is the most, for me, the most important question is always this why. Until there is no why, there is the answer, right? There is the solution.
So a lot of whys before.
Because if there is no why, there is the answer. There is like the core of the thing of the thing you do, and this is for me so unbelievable, fascinating. This is like my whole excitement, like my whole passion is like just to answer it, and how do I express it is through design.
So if we are thinking in terms of Simon Sinek's, what is your why? Could you tell?
My why?
Yeah.
Designing people happy.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, that's my
cool.
Yeah, this is actually my personal message. This is how I work and what my goal is. What I want to achieve with the thing I do is really to, in the end, it sounds pretty pathetic, like, oh, maybe creating or designing people happy or making people happy, but in the end it's like the goal you like the ultimate goal you can achieve with and through design, and design has the power to do it. Right? So design probably very important to know. We're not talking about physical products, mostly digital products, and yeah, so it's called user experience design, user interface design, and so on.
So I know that it will be really hard to explain to your mother what you do for work then. But could you explain to the people listening maybe? So can you pinpoint and can you go a little bit more narrow and say to the audience what is it that you do every single day?
So very easy explain is that I'm a product designer for digital products, so a digital product designer. Actually, what does that mean? First of all, it means that I need to understand people, how they think and how they use things. Then I need to set the whole logic, like the whole usability, how people will use this product, where to place, you know, a button, a menu bar, an image, a text, and so on. So this needs a lot of work to figure that out, clicking, tapping past, and so on. And in the end, you need to give that a kind of a face, like a design, which you're putting on, like fill it up with colors and forms and stuff like that, so that it becomes a design and being usable.
It sounds super simple.
Right. It is actually, but well,
doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it yesterday that to me your work looked really measurable and really objective, but you really made a clear statement to me that it is a really subjective thing to do, because
it's the most subjective thing.
Because you are doing a service to your clients, and it is based on their opinions. They feel something is right or wrong for them, something is fit or unfit for them, and your job is to do a really great work and really also make sure that the client is on the same page as you. So you need to convince them that this is
my job is to convince people. That's what I do. 95%.
You gotta be the person that is more certain. Yeah.
So I just, you know, if I'm working on a project with, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 people from several departments, everybody has an opinion and everybody is just pointing at you, right? and judging your design and judging your judgment and stuff like that. And this is really, really, really hard, you know. And then you're not in the position to say, no, you're wrong. It's just like, okay, you're right, I will take that with me and I will think about it and I will share my decision tomorrow with you, kind of this way. Because people, everybody, mostly, I'm pretty sure that 9 of 10 people would say I'm creative. You know, I'm a creative person, because nobody will say, oh, no, I wouldn't say that I'm not creative. I know those persons who would not tell them this. And this is one of the main problems we have. But it's not like also people saying that I'm a creative person. There are also, as in every other business, a lot of political bullshit.
Yeah. So you said that you started to play with it really, really early, when you were a really young boy, 11. And can you maybe tell us so how the story really developed? You started being curious about it, you started playing with it, and I remember your projects with how was it called?
Oh no, you mean Cromunich and stuff.
Cromunich, yeah. So you were not just that you were in love with design, but you were really playful and with entrepreneurship. You were always entrepreneurial minded from a very young age. You were very independent and free thinking, and you really wanted to make a statement. You wanted to make an impact on your southern society, or so the people that you really that you live really close to.
So the story starts when I was 11 years old. My sister moved to Vancouver, to Canada, and you know, there was the time where internet wasn't mainstream. It was just the beginning of the internet. So, like, not the beginning of the internet, but the beginning of the mainstream of the internet.
Yeah.
And she was, as I said, she moved to Vancouver, and she married their very good guy, Super Dennis. We're calling him Super. And,
Super Dennis.
Yeah, and she registered on to a provider. It's called Bolt.com, and she created an email. You know? And she was calling us, and she told, like, wow, I have an email. I was like, what?
What is an email?
No. I knew what an email was, because also there's a fascination inside of myself for technology. And I was like, wow, she has an email. That's crazy. I want to have an email too. And then my parents went, and they, you know, we just installed internet in our home, and with the 56K thing, and I registered, and at Bolt.com created an email. But there was a service from that provider, homepage builder. Wow, you know,
Homepage builder.
You can create something. It's like, wow, you can create, like, that was my playground on creating things, right? And yeah, well, then I started together with my brother, Josip, to creating home pages with this homepage builder, and it was very easy at that point, you know, just click there, and then you have a home page. But we wanted to customize it, you know, because we thought, okay, we can make this better, and we can make this better, and how can we do it? Okay, oh, there's an editor, so you can customize things. And then we started, like, to develop, you know, HTML1. So we developed, I was 11 years old, was designing a homepage, developing a homepage, you know, just restructuring the whole page and so on. And then the fascination started. And since then, it's 21 years ago, I'm doing every day the same thing. Every day.
And it doesn't get boring to you?
Just, no. just getting more and more excited. And then then we started using Photoshop, you know, and designing home pages, creating concepts. What I did at some point is that I created concepts and companies that doesn't existed, right? It was just in my mind, so I created a logo and I created for that company homepage, and so it was completely weird, you know, because that was kind of my fantasy as a child, you know, at that age. This is how I live my fantasy, you know. I just created companies that never exist, right? I really, there was, wow, no, I can't remember what kind of companies that were, but this is really how I started. And you know, today you go Google and saying Photoshop tutorial, homepage, whatever, and
everything is there.
You have like everything, you know. You don't need to design anymore today, and because you have like a million of different great looking templates on the web. But at that point, dude, it was 3 days researching on how to create a gradient on a button and to make that button look glossy, you know. It was like crazy to figure that out. So also this was a tough school to design.
Yeah, and when you think about it, so 21 years passed and it just started, to be exact. Or is it my feeling? Because I think that this design or programming world is really hyped right now.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people offering those kind of services. A lot of freelancers that really earn their money that way, because those are the services that are really wanted and needed right now in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, and 21 years is past.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think about it?
Oh well, it's a money machine.
It's a money machine.
I mean, it sounds pretty bad. Yeah, it's a money because it's a niche, but it's crazy, you know. Every company, you need to imagine, this is how I want to explain it to the people, that, you know, every insurance company on this earth, they, you know, 5 years ago, nobody was thinking about to digitalize their services. Or what products or whatever they have. Nobody. And now it needs to be digitalized. It needs to be smart, you know. Everything they offer, it needs to be smart. It needs to look good. It needs to look at least that good as their brick and mortar shops look like, you know, on the digital, because that's the contact with the client. But now the client doesn't go to the brick and mortar shop anymore. He has it now in the pocket, you know, on the phone, and that's the contact you always have with the company, with the brand, and so on. But that's just an insurance company. I'm also talking about, I don't know, you know, there are millions of industries and companies who needs to be digitalized, and somebody needs to do that work, right? How to digitalize.
So a lot of work to do in the future, yeah.
Yeah. It is still, but we are probably in the digitalization phase of 5%. So there is 95% to achieve, because, you know.
So for everyone listening right now, would it be a great way to really dive in something like this, into this world? If someone is, I don't know, listening right now and it is around 20 or 25, 30 years old,
yeah,
maybe he can make a career move to this niche and really make a great career out of it.
My advice to young people or to parents who are getting a child born is do just one thing: technology. Just go into the technology.
Internet also, yeah.
It's technology. It's like internet. It's like go just into technology. You need to understand technology, how technology works, because you know, you can imagine the world in 100 years. It will be crazy. I'm personally, I'm afraid, but go just into technology, you know, because somebody needs to work. That technology is working well. Okay, let's see what will happen with AI and stuff like that. But you know, somebody needs to develop the AI machine. You know, somebody. I am not sure if AI is supposed to design things and creating brands and feelings and some spiritual things. I'm pretty unsure if this is possible. Yeah, just go to technology, and there is a crazy spectrum inside of technology you can do, and but yeah, if you have the feeling that you're kind of a creative person, you can go into user interface design, visual design, user experience design. That's crazy interesting job. You know, a lot of user research, a lot of like psychological work you need to do to understand people, how they behave, how they think, how they use things. So this is the whole user research part, and like what's the gain, what's the win of this research, and how to, you know, move that to a design or to a usability structure, wireframe, so we call that.
So there is a lot of things that I want to cover here in this part. You know, sorry if we are making too much noises. We are in rented Airbnb apartment right now and making this podcast. It was a fireside chat before the fire went.
Just stopped, right?
Yeah, there is no more wood anymore, I suppose. So we are in Berlin, in one hip place.
In an Airbnb place, actually.
Airbnb place, yeah, Airbnb place. So, of course, there are a lot of things that I want to cover with you right now in this part. As I said, you are and you were really entrepreneurial from a really young age, and you had a lot of projects before you really started a company a few years ago. And can you talk maybe about this kindles of or sparks of this entrepreneurial flashes from here and from now and then, in those early days with, I don't know, with Cromunich or things like that, before you started really your company.
So those projects we made or at that point, so I worked a lot of with my brother together, and we were thinking about new concept, new ideas, what we can do, so what's possible with the internet. And so one of our first project was Cromunich, which stands for Croatians in Munich, or Croatia Munich, or yeah, kind of this. And so it's Cromunich, and it was long before Facebook existed. We created this community platform, social media platform. Nobody was talking about social media, which is very interesting, for the Croatians in Munich. So all those kinds of different events happening in Munich, in this Croatian context society. Yeah.
So you could really create a profile there.
Yes. Like Facebook is working today, right? So
okay.
You know, this is crazy how small you think, right? So,
yeah, how small you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
It was a niche, and what was crazy with Cromunich is that really it changed this society in Munich, because it was also a communication platform. So you can you had the possibility to chat in chat rooms, and there was a forum.
Yeah.
There was you could comment on some posts and events and stuff like that, and people are getting very close and together. And we had a bunch of thousands users at that point. It was very, very popular in Munich. And then we started also to expand that to Stuttgart and Frankfurt and Berlin and whatever. Well, that wasn't that serious as it probably sounds at this point, but it was interesting. So we make our first couple of hundred Deutsche Mark.
So there were not euros back then.
No, back then there were the euros.
Mark, yeah.
And yeah, this is how we actually started. And then we also, you know, there was a party scene in Munich for Croatians and from people from Balkan, from ex-Yugoslavia, which was interesting. And then we also started to create our own events. I mean, it's crazy. I'm talking here about stuff. I was 14, 15 years. You know, I was going to some places, to some clubs, to some bars, and you know, hey, I have Cromunich here, and if you want to make marketing on our site, so this is the price list, and I can put your logo there, and, and people really paid. It was crazy. It was, now it's really funny, yeah. But at that point, it was serious, and I can imagine if 14 years or 15 years old child is coming to me and talking seriously about business. It's
so you were negotiating with those people and really making some deals. Yeah. So was this the first time that you really understood and believed that you can create something and that you can earn some money doing something like this?
Yeah, it was before. So I was going to school, right? And there was I don't know at which point it was, before, during Cromunich, I really can't remember, but I was working when I was 13 or 14 years old for an agency in my neighborhood. For a marketing agency in my neighborhood, like a very small.
Okay, while you were going to school.
Yeah, so after school I went to to this place, to this agency, and I was making money, and then when I had when school was free, what's it called?
Okay, vacation time.
Vacation time. I stayed in Munich and I was working at this company for 2 weeks, and I was making money. It was pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so right now when I'm thinking about it, you started really young. You started to play with it really young. You really knew from that time that you could make a buck here and there, that you can work for someone, but you can also work for yourself, that you can create something that people will love to buy, that you can give services that people will pay for. So I think that this is really important, especially to learn about it from this very young of an age.
Sure. I was making a lot of mistakes. I was promising a lot of bad and wrong things to people at a very early stage of my life. So those kind of mistakes I made when I was 14 or 15. So this is what I'm avoiding since, I don't know, 10 years, because you know it's stupid to make the thing same mistakes again. Yeah, this is, you know, a lot of basic experience you're gaining in a very early stage of your life, and which is now a huge benefit. Yeah, and after Cromunich, there was this question: okay, how can we grow, right? And it was possible to grow. Well, as I said, it sounds more serious than it is. But then it was, well, for us it was serious.
Of course.
That's it. And then we started Agenti.de. Agenti.de was mostly the same thing as Cromunich was, but for the whole Balkan community, or the ex-Yugoslavian community, which was much bigger than just the Croatian community. And then we started with this and making party pictures. There was a hype at that time, and we used that. You know, we had several photographers, and they were going to several parties on the weekend from Friday till Sunday, and several events also, and making picture of people, and you know, great marketing. You're making a picture from somebody that somebody can show himself on the internet, and he has a professional picture he can use, which was a pretty good business concept. And well, that was pretty successful for us, you know, for immigrants, for people, you know, coming from Croatia, and we had a good success with that. Well, not Instagram success, and not like, we're not talking about million or whatever, just a couple of hundred or €1,000 we made with this community, which was for us like, wow, that's great, you know. We had 100-200,000 active users, some kind
100,
as I can remember, let's say, I don't know, let's say 100,000 plus minus
100,000.
Yeah.
Oh my God! This is
Yeah.
really a lot of people.
It wasn't just Munich at that point. So we made also buzz in the whole Balkan community. You know, we've been the place #1 if you want to, you know, chat with other people from the Balkan. Yeah.
A lot of people. Yeah. So the business model in those first
I never used the word at that time business model, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Was just doing
this.
things.
This is something that I wanted to ask you right now. You know, so right now when I'm thinking about it, the business model was to really make a lot of traffic. So
yes, the most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you needed a lot of people there in this community, so you can really be a platform for someone to really advertise them on
the more
this
traffic,
platform.
the more traffic we had on our site. Yeah.
So were you thinking about it then in those ways in these terms, or you just did the things that you needed to do with some kind of an instinct?
Or it was just instinct.
So there was no strategy, no tactics,
no, it was
nothing.
just doing, you know, just doing. As I said, I was 16 years old. I was 16 years old, and yeah, it was just doing things. One thing we knew, there was, you know, KPI or OKR or whatever. Nobody was talking about this shit. It was like, just do the thing, and okay, how can we just achieve more traffic on our page? That's it. So the higher the traffic, the more expensive the, you know, commercial or the ad is on our page. Period. That's it. That was the whole business model we had. And as I said, it was like, you know, if you think small, then you do small business. And it was also the time, still a couple of years before Facebook.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, so you didn't think like in this kind of spheres.
Yeah, like Gary Vee says, and a lot of other entrepreneurs, ideas are really cheap, and execution is the thing that matters. So
Yeah.
we
Only
we have a lot of ideas, a lot of ideas.
Yes.
So how can you make sure to really execute in the right ways? But there is no right way of executing on something,
Yeah.
is it? There are, I don't know, if you say to yourself, I want to make a social network, there are millions of ways how can you do something like this.
Yeah.
How do you go about it?
Well, for me, so it's a story about 0 and 1, right? It's 0, 1, it's 0, 1. So either you're 0 or you're 1. So if you don't execute anything you have, or whatever you have in your mind as an idea, if you don't execute, it's still a 0, and it will always be a 0. So there is no 1, there is no action, there is no something is created from nothing. So it's just do your thing. It's just go, whatever, fall down and go further.
Yeah. So what would you say to the people that have that are struggling with starting something? They have this idea inside of their minds, and maybe they are afraid. Maybe they don't know how to start, what to do. I don't know who to call. How did you start?
It's just from 0 to 1. It's
You didn't think about it at all?
Just go.
Just instinct.
Just go. I mean, of course, if there is no goal, there is also a 0, right? So it's not like just, swimming in the ocean and just swim. It just doesn't matter.
Do you think that it was easier for you because you were younger and you didn't have the ability to think about the things that could happen in the future?
It's the current struggle I'm in right now. I'm about, probably this will happen, to start a new business in next months, years, I don't know. But what I know is that I didn't start a new business. Now is there is a need you need to have. It's like to be naive.
Yeah.
But not that unhealthy, that healthy part of naive. Like to not overthink or over-engineer things, what could happen if then, and then I die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to be, like, I know how hard it is to create a business. Like, whoa, okay? And I'm questioning myself, okay, what's the next thing? And are you really sure you want to go this way again? Well, I know that I will go this way again. I'm very sure. But, I know what's behind that wall and what's waiting for me. It just doesn't matter if I, open up a bakery tomorrow or I starting a new crazy digital Snapchat business, whatever. It's the same thing. I know that it's a lot of hard work behind all those, walls. And I think you really need to be naive, and it's good, It's just good to be just a little bit naive, very healthy, and just go your things. If you have really something inside of you, where there is a flame inside of you for something, for an idea, just don't think about why it's not possible. Just go and do it. And everything around you will everything will go into your direction. You will people will talk to you and was like, oh yeah, that was like the right information I was needing in this moment, or there is a new business starting which has inspired you, like in this really moment when you need it. And this is how the way then goes. So you're kind of a magnet in this moment for the thing you want to do, and you're receiving everything you need, but you will never receive the things you need if you are a 0. So hey Siri, Siri turn on. What did I say?
0.
A 0.
Hey Siri, turn on.
No, it's okay Siri, thank you.
My Siri also turned on, but it's okay. It's not.
Just
It's not. Yeah, you can proceed.
Sorry.
Sorry about it.
Okay.
And you know what? Because at the core of this brand that I'm creating right now, at the core is really lifelong learning and personal growth and professional growth. So, do you think that entrepreneurship is one of the best platforms in which you can grow as a human being?
No, I wouldn't say that. Like this straight? No, I think there are a lot of more fields. I mean, entrepreneur. Well, actually, I think you can, but not the most. It's just another way to grow. Sure.
Okay.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it looks like it looks like that because there are a lot of uncertainty there.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things to cover to go from idea from point A to point B, and I don't know. I think that you gain a lot of skills.
Yeah.
By trying to build a company and employ people to create a team, to become a great leader, to negotiate with the clients, to have a great marketing concept also. So you need to learn about people, about their psychology, about their, I don't know,
Sure.
things in which they operate, so their modus operandi, a lot of things to do and a lot of things to improve in yourself. Yeah. So it is a great platform for building a lot of soft and hard skills.
Confirm that 100%. That's right. But what I was thinking, you don't need to be the 100% entrepreneur. So you also can work inside of a company without being an entrepreneur and also make it or gaining the same experience. But I think what's the biggest difference in working inside of a company and kind of pushing things forward and making this experience versus being an entrepreneur is, as an entrepreneur, and if you're building a company or a concept or whatever, it's just you. There is nobody beside of you. You're just how's it called? Odgovoran.
Responsible. You're the only one.
You're the only one who is responsible for success or failure.
You're the last line of defense.
Yes, and nobody is besides of you who will, making life easier. It's not like that. And if you're doing a mistake, you're doing a mistake, and then you're done, right? But in a company, if you work in a company, if you do a mistake, it's like, well, okay, don't do it the next time. Well, okay, then don't do it next time. That's the difference. It hurts more.
So
every mistake hurts more.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But in the same time, every success is
sweeter.
A lot more sweeter. Yeah.
Yeah. So, would you advise to the young people that when they start their careers to really go in the corporate setting, in corporate culture? So, or is it maybe better for them when they are starting to go in some kind of a small business, in a startup? Do you think that there is a more benefit for them, more ways to learn in small business setting or in corporate setting?
To answer directly on that is small business, because you're working, with very close with the brains of this company, and you can gain a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, like see that just 1 meter away from you in the same room.
Yeah, you could be mentored. Yeah,
sure, you could be mentored because you're not one of 1,000. That's the biggest difference. You're a one of 20, one of 10, one of 30, and then you see the whole process. You live the process. You're a part of this whole process. How this company is growing or developing. That's positive, but there are also very negative stuff inside of small businesses. Because you're very close with people, and sometimes people can hurt a lot, and I think your feelings can get hurt a lot, and much more in small businesses. But overall, I would say it's better to be focused on small businesses. In bigger corporations, also there are a lot of positive, also negative things, but in bigger corporations, the whole political part and to fight for your ideas is also very, very important to gain this experience. Going with your elbows, and fighting for the things you want to impact is very, very important. But on the other end, you know, you're one of 1,000. Nobody cares about you, and if you're not screaming and if you're not loud enough, and if you don't fight much more, nobody will care about you.
And if you don't know how to promote yourself
Yes,
very well, which
yes,
is really,
yes.
really.
I think it's
sometimes.
For me personally, it's a very bad way. I don't like it at all. It's not my personal style, you know, because I think, you know, if you have a good idea, why the fuck do you need to fight for that idea? What is not somebody in the same room, like your, I don't know, your colleague or your boss, you know, sitting in that room and saying, "Who are you? Oh, that's an awesome idea. Let's go into this project, you know? You're my man now."
Yeah, but sometimes you really need to convince someone, like you said, when you need to convince your clients that something is working, that it will be a great thing for them, for their business.
But in corporations, people are just afraid about their own positions.
Yes.
You know, if somebody has a better idea, or if somebody, you know, has whatever, an idea to optimize some process or something, people are just, no, we don't do it, because they fight for their own position, you know, and that's making the process very, very slow. And this is also a benefit for small businesses. You know, you're like in the on a jet ski, like moving things and driving around left, right, and you know, you can do everything, which is over time very probably sometimes too much, you know. It's costs you a lot of energy, but on the other side, if you're in a corporations, you know, to turn something from left to right, it's like you're this fucking tanker, and it just costs a lot of time, because you need to convince like 100 people about the things.
Corporations move so slow. They're not agile at all. And a lot of interesting things. A lot of interesting things. And you know, I wanted to ask you, do you think that, or how much do you think that it is important to in a business setting, or maybe even in the private setting, how important is to have this ability to really be selfless, egoless, and really try to put yourself in the shoes of your clients, of your colleagues, of your boss, of your spouse, of whoever. So what do you think? For me, lately, I think that this skill is a game changer. To have this ability to remove focus from yourself and put it on another person.
You were asking a Christian, right?
Okay. Why not?
It's. I think that's the key for everything. I think that's the key, the door opener, the master goal is to be, for me personally, is to be really selfless, and to think more about people, to forget yourself, to always say so since I converted or turned around, it's I'm always telling myself, Ante, you're not interesting. You're not interesting in this moment, you know. If I feel that I'm getting nervous, or if my argue doesn't win, or that somebody's punching my argue, or somebody is punching whatever I did or said, or I was like, you're not interesting in this moment. You're
not important to you.
Yeah, you're not important. You're not. Yeah, but not important. But it's more for me. You're just. It's not about you right now. And that's what I'm telling myself all the time. Also to be very calm and peaceful in this moment, and really to listen to people, what somebody wants to tell me, you know, because I'm pretty sure that 90% of people aren't that assholes we think they are, or egoistic. Well, let's say it's probably less than 90%, but it doesn't matter. It's they're impulse is not to hurt me, right? It's also to offer something to this thing we're working on together. And if I'm in this position that I don't want to listen to people because I'm like, oh, what is he saying to me, and why is he saying that to me, and what's the right I need to give, like that my argue wins because I'm the best. Then I'm just focused on those thoughts, and I'm not in the situation, right? And I'm not listening to people. And this is why I'm always telling myself, I'm still telling it to myself, you know, how egoistic we are. That no, it's not about you, Ante. You're not interested in this situation right now.
Yeah.
And that experience I made is like when I moved my mindset to into this direction, then I started moving mountains. Because then people, you know, it's not about that. If somebody wants to argue with you, and you're kind of a wow, people, you can act like you're listening, right? But everybody feels that no, you're not listening, right? Yeah. But there is this point where you're really listening, and the guy sitting in front of me is like, okay, he really listens.
He appreciates me. Yeah.
He appreciates me. He's asking question. He's making my argue stronger. Oh, now I'm open, and now we can talk. And then it's so much easier to talk with people, and then to gain the best thing for the thing we're working on together. And then you win the people. You know, you're winning.
Put them
winning
on your side. Yeah.
Yes, you're putting
her on the same side.
Yeah, you're not making enemies in this moment. You're making friends in this moment, and this is the most important part. This is why you need to forget yourself. This is why you need to become more and more and more and more selfless, and to forget your fucking egoistic bullshit. And I hate myself, you know, because I'm still egoistic. You know, I'm Christian, and I live this thing, and I love this thing, and I'm reading about it, like, you know, it's kind of my hobby, but I'm still a fucking stupid, egoistic idiot.
You swear a lot for a Christian.
That's right, man. I didn't do it like for a long time, right?
And
well, it doesn't matter. It's forgiven, you know.
Is it interesting?
Yeah.
And somehow also when I started speaking in English, I have this need to curse. I don't know why.
See, there is
especially because they are not too creative in curse words. The Americans.
Germans not at all. It's like, wow, oh my god, they're
but
so bad.
Croatians, they are
they're
really creative when you think about curse words.
Yeah.
So in English language there is only fuck, and fuck is the ultimate curse word.
It's like in German the worst thing you can say, I mean, you know, you're bad. It's like, oh, he said that I'm bad.
He said that I'm bad.
Yeah.
It's
so it's probably, you know, there is a part in Bible. It's saying, you know, if your enemy punches you, just turn your right side or left side, and so let him punch you again.
Yeah, turn the other cheek. Yeah.
That's how you win. How you get friends.
So right now,
how you get friends, right? let people punch you.
So right now, when we are recording this podcast, this interview, I'm always trying to have this in mind. So I'm doing this because of my audience, and I'm always trying to think of them. So I want to ask you this question because of them. I want to talk about this because of them. Because what will they really gain by listening to you, by listening to me, and really try to remove focus from myself, from the guest. Of course, the guest is really, really important to me, of course, also. And but the end goal is for the audience to really be empowered and to learn something new and to grow. And a lot of times I struggle with this. A lot of times I struggle with this because this egoistical thing in us is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's so powerful because it's really
it's very good but very bad in the same moment.
Yeah, like everything.
But the question is the motivation. It's always your motivation. So this for me the biggest difference in being how you need to be or should be egoistic, right? It's your what's the purpose behind the things you do? Is it you want to hurt somebody? Right? Just that you become like better in something or to, you know, show people that you are better and then you need to hurt. Well, this is the wrong purpose. This is the wrong motivation. Isn't it?
It is.
It is, absolutely. And this is what most people are doing, you know, to achieve something. But then you achieve something and you don't have friends. Well, probably you have, but mostly they're fake. And, you know, then it's also hard to live and doing things. And I think, you know, I am egoistic. What should I do? You know, I have a lot of experience in design, and people are, you know, if I'm arguing my designs, if I'm not egoistic in this moment, I'm doing something wrong, because it's not for me to show everybody that I'm the best designer. I don't give a shit. You know, for me, the most important thing is that I give my best for this thing I'm working on, this project, this product, this company, this brand, whatever it is.
So, what I concluded in the end, that maybe, possibly, the most important thing in life that gives the most quality to our lives is really the people that are around us each and every day.
Yeah.
I think that nothing can give us more fulfillment and improve the richness and give the richness to our lives like the people that are really around us every single day.
Sure.
And this is why I wrote the article the other day about our careers and the people that are surrounded with us in this setting. So we spend a lot of time. In our workplaces, on our jobs. So at least 8 hours a day. I know that in the Western world, this is even more. It is around 10 to 12 to 12 hours a day. And when you think about the commute to work, the commute from work to home, you really spend a lot of time with those people there. So I know that you have a vision of your next company, and I know that the company culture is really important to you. So what do you have to say about this? What kind of a company culture do you want to create? If you know that you spend a lot of time with those people, what kind of a people do you want to have around you? What kind of a person do you want to be to those people? So how much of a value or importance do you really give in this particular subject?
So when I started Kobe, Kobe was or is a design user experience design agency in Munich. Let's say pretty popular in this place. The goal of this company. So first of all, when I was 16, I had this vision or this dream to, you know, create my own design agency, and since then, my focus was how to create this, and I knew that I wasn't experienced enough, you know, to start that with 17 years, and so my whole career was built to achieve this goal. What does that mean? I worked for probably 4 or 5 different agencies, you know, until I found my own company. And what I experienced in those agencies was a very, very, very ugly culture, you know, like in how people behave to each other, you know, how the whole work ethic is going, you know, people worked like not 12 hours. It was the whole weekend. It was, you know, 20 hours a day and sleeping 4 hours and then going back because, you know, the project is so so important, and or some clients, something is, you know, burning on one side, and it was so ugly. It was slavery. It was much uglier than slavery, because I always said that, you know, as a slave, I know that I'm a slave, and okay, that's good. You know, you can't do anything about it, but people were so manipulated, you know, by this whole, oh, we're so cool and we're so fancy and whatever. But on the other hand, fuck, man, people are, there it is again. Damn, I will get a lot of struggles. But people are working 20 hours a day, 5 days in a row, the whole weekend. You know, on Friday it was 5 o'clock, and you know, the boss came in and he said, "Oh, we have a new client and we have a pitch, and sorry guys, there isn't a weekend for you." I was like, "Oh, again?" Whoa. And again, and that happened again, and that happened again, and you know, people are coming into an agency, staying there 2 years and changing their jobs because, you know, you're just burnt out. You come into a company and you burn out, and you know, then you go to the next and you burn out again, and this is how it rolls, right? And there was something I was like, dude, what? Hey, man, we're human beings. We're just human, you know. We love families. We love, like, you know, this kind of. Yeah, kind of to be in an environment like in a family, and I was, why isn't that possible? And there was a phase before we knew the startups, you know, right now, you know, it was, how can you build a company like building your own family? Also with this culture, no, it's not. Wasn't also about to have this flat hierarchy or something. It was like, you know, to have respect to each other. That it's more we than me. You know, that sounds also pretty cheesy. If I'm, but it wasn't common at that point, and I also always said that, you know, it's always just about how you manage things. You know, so that people are working more than 10 hours in a creative business is so unbelievable, inefficient. So that this is not the right way how we work, and this is what I wanted really to change. And I always said one, and there was or is still my credo, that one motivated employee, worker, is more effective than 9 demotivated. Like, he's doing much better and more work if he's motivated than 9 other together.
Yep.
And the whole culture was built around that philosophy. So we invested a lot of time in, you know, our employees, listening to them and to not let them work too much hard, of course, but not too much, like not at all. Yeah. And I was also always saying to my partners that, you know, in the end, because it's my company, you know, and I have this responsibility to all those people, that I should and need to be the guy who's working, you know, the longer, to serve those people, that they have a good life and that they are motivated, you know, because in the end, if you have 10 motivated, 20 or however motivated people in your company, in the end it comes always back to the company again. So if I'm serving them, they will serving to me, and they will serve each other. And if this is the culture, and if this is not the culture, who's the best, or who's the, you know, like in all those marketing agencies where it's just, you know, a lot of like this, oh, that's so ugly, this no,
you know, a lot of old school entrepreneurs really doesn't doesn't get this part of the work?
Vain.
Vain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vain, it's vanity.
Uh-huh.
A lot of vanity, you know, because creative people are vain, you know. They are. It's like you're creative, you know, and you want to get a lot of compliments like, oh, that's good, and so on. And in this industry, it's that's a big problem. You know? And people are also very egoistic, because as a creative, you are like that. It's like it's kind of in our nature to be like that. And but we want to, you know, to fight this and to say, guys, that's bad.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about it the other day. We talked about the families of being the smallest building block of the society, and right now I'm thinking about, so companies are really important part of the society as a whole, on a global scale, and when you talk about the families. And right now, when I think about the corporate culture, so if you think about the companies that have around 500,000 or maybe more employees, it's really hard to recreate those concepts like you could do in a small businesses. But right now, I'm thinking about it. You see, a lot of companies are divided in sectors. So the organizational structure is like this. You have sectors. You have board of members on the top, you have sectors, then you have, how do you say it in English, branches, and each branch has his own, also his own leader there, his own manager, and this manager is really like a father to those group of people. So in a corporate setting, you could have a lot of families in each and every part of the company. So maybe this is the way. How could you go about it in a bigger company?
Sure.
Yeah.
In German you say the fish smells from the head.
Yeah.
It's always the same thing. It's always the same rule. In a family, in a company, in a division inside of a company, it's always the same thing. Probably also to get back to the initial question is, you know, it's just about to create a business for people, because as you said, as you mentioned, if I work with somebody 10 to 12 hours a day, I'm spending more time with this person more than with my wife on a day. And in this case, I want to build a company to spend time with people I want to be surrounded with and having fun and just, you know, living and not fighting each other who's better and who's the bigger ego or who's the whatever. So together to build with people a company and just, you know, having fun. You always will have this kind of problems with ego problems and whatever, which is our nature. But it's kind of different how you choose people, because, you know, corporations are choosing people, very bad people, in positions to break a lot of paradigms inside of whatever they want to achieve, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, this was how Kobe was built. Yeah.
You know, I will be considerate to your time, because I know that you have a plane soon to catch to Munich, back to Munich, and you know, I learned from one guy that the best way to read a book was to really first read the first chapter, then read the last chapter, and then maybe pick some chapter from the middle, see the table of contents, feel the book a little bit, and then if you like it, then you can revisit it again. And he says, treat a book like a friend. You will not sit with a friend and talk with him 1000 days
Yeah.
without stopping
Yeah.
and learn everything that
Yeah.
he can say to you about him. So we are constrained with the time that we have right now, and these are the topics that we covered. And of course we will have a chance to speak about something else in the future. So as the moral of the story for the people who are listening, that of course you can have this relationship with a book also, not just with a person. It is a great takeaway for it was a great takeaway from me. So for the end, one or two questions more. Can you maybe describe to people how your typical day looks like? What kind of a routines, what kind of a habits do you have that you think are important maybe for your life, for your success?
So beside of working hard and working hard and working hard and working and doing and making and not standing on the same place, it's okay. Let's probably start with my daily routine and how this daily routine was built, which is probably more interesting. That in the morning, I don't know, I wake up at 6 o'clock plus minus 30 minutes, depends on the day. When I was going to sleep, and then I wake up and just starting breakfasting, mostly the same thing every day, which is for me very good. I love that. To not have pressure in making decisions what to eat in the morning. So I use two things. One is porridge. I love porridge. It's like the ugliest thing you can, but you can put some cinnamon inside of it or some whatever. Then Greek yogurt. I love Greek yogurt. It's awesome. And then I eat this, and one the most important thing is when I wake up, I had this most, for me, very, very ugly habit is the first thing you do, take your phone and just check what happened on Instagram, what happened on WhatsApp, who wrote, blah, 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 and so on and so forth, so on and so forth. And why is that for me so important to not have that? So I'm just waking up. And I just wake up with the thoughts. I wake up and I'm not distracted by any other thought at this point. Because if my brother or a friend or a client wrote me an email and I'm reading this email in this morning, in the moment when I wake up, I'm done. I'm done for the day. Because my thoughts are in this email. I'm not here, I'm just in this. So I stopped cursing. And I'm in this email, and that's so bad, that's so wrong, that's crazy for me. Yeah? So this is something I recognize that it's very bad, and I just moved it out from my routine. Right? It was hard. It's unbelievable. Why is it hard? But it was hard. Doesn't matter, it's not there anymore. And it takes me up to 1 hour on a bad day, but up to 2 hours that I'm not looking on my phone in the morning. Just to be and start my day. Why? Well, after I'm breakfasting, I'm making a coffee. I love coffee. Coffee is awesome. It's science. It's art and science together. And I take time for those stuff. And then I'm reading in the Bible, reading some things, and then I'm meditating on those words and reading, to understand the things which are, it just tells me how to behave and how to have a good life. That's what's mostly written in this book. And those are about the first 30 minutes. I'm spending on, and it gives me a lot of peace. Like I'm getting very, very, very calm, very conscious, very. And the next thing I do, I'm reading a book, whatever it is. whatever I decide to read. And then I'm reading the book, let's say 30 to 60 minutes, on a bad day 30 minutes, on a good day I'm reading 60 minutes in this book. And this is for me so important, because, sorry, going back to why is it so important to not have a look on your phone the first thing you do, is it's not possible, you know, to meditate, to read, right? To pray, for me, it's not possible if I'm in this email, because
if you have a lot of distractions,
and then you're just, you know, all the thoughts are inside of it, and this is mostly how I start my day. So the second thing is then I'm reading a lot, and after that probably I'm praying a lot probably, then showering and going to work. So.
What a great way to start your day, really fresh.
So I'm starting at 8 o'clock. So from 6 to 8, it's like just
your morning routine.
Yes, that's my morning routine, and it's just, you know, I'm so unbelievably grateful to have that, because it's just peace of mind inside of you, and this is how you start your day. You know, you're open to, I don't know, you're open in the same way what we talked a few minutes ago. You're open to people, because, you know, if you're in a peace of mind state, you're open to people, you're open for critique, you're open for argues, and that's how people are perceiving you in the moment, and then things are going that way.
Great. Do you have maybe anything more that you want to share, that you do every single day, maybe? That you think that it's benefiting your life?
Yeah, sure. So how I structured my whole day is based on a mission I give to myself, like the baseline of my life. How I, you know, going every day is to it's called micro improvement, and I really hope so much that I will make a great experience with that. And to write a book about this experience is micro improvement by discipline and continuity.
Yes.
Right. And this is my personal mission I have in my life. Like, you know, I want to be better every day. I want to be the best person I can be on each day. So to give the most I can give on this day, but to improve myself. Like, I want to be tomorrow better than I'm today, okay? But everything on an incremental or a micro level. Why? I don't want to have like this very heavy burdens, to have this two big goals, like two heavy challenges, you know, that I need to, you know, I need to stop smoking, I need to stop drinking, and then I need to work out 3 hours a day, and this and that, you know, it just burns, you know, it's just so counterproductive. It's crazy. I want to start with very small steps every day, because what I learned is, when I was 11, that was the ugliest page I ever made in my life. But now I'm 32, it's like just 20 years ago from that point on, and that is a huge difference. But how did I achieve this? It's like just to become incremental on a micro level, every day in small steps, better and better and better and better. But therefore I need to be disciplined, you know, to repeat the thing every day, and, you know, having this straight structure every day, and continuously working on that, to not stop. That's the trick. Don't stop. Just move forward. Just move forward. Just move forward.
Yeah, if you stop, you will lose momentum, which is really
absolutely
really hard to start that again.
Yeah, the thing I learned so far from this process I'm making is, you know, when I'm out of my habits, I'm getting very nervous, which is not good. That's not good. I also want to build into this process the part of, if you're out of the habit, it's okay. You know, just also to get rid of this burden, that, oh shit, my life is going like in a whole struggle because I didn't read the Bible today. It's what no, that's bad. That's not good. And this is and then this mission or this way I'm going, it's changed to a crazy habit. It's I would say that my mind or state today is that I live the day. Today, you know.
You gave your all.
And I gave everything I can give on this one day, because what I learned is the only thing how I can influence the future is always now. It's now. There is no other logic or whatever. It's just now, you know. And if I made a mistake 1 minute ago, I can, you know, do it.
You can give it. You can take it back. Yeah, you cannot.
I can take it back. So it just happened. But what I can do is, it happened. Good. How can I change it? No. And that's how you continue. That's how you go. That's how you go. Everything what happened in the past, you can change it. It's in the past. Everything what will happen in the future, you can influence by now. And that's how I live every day. That's how I live every day. That's how I live every day. And that's the habit. This is the thing how I'm getting now. So if I made a good track record from my 11th birthday till my 26th birthday, I would say that I was, with this method, I was growing like in 2 or 3 years rapidly, like never, as never before in my life.
Yeah.
Because I don't have these burdens. They're just away. I have a goal. I have kind of a, you know, like a life goal or a professional goal or a...
Do you know what they say? That the losers have goals and the winners have systems.
Well, yeah, it goes really into this way. But I mean, you need to go somewhere always.
Yep.
Right? But it's the how...
With a system, yeah.
Yeah, with a system. How is it possible? If you live every day, I don't know which book that was, doesn't matter. The biggest mistake we do, we live with the burden from the past, with the fear of the future now. Huh? That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's toxic.
A wrong way to do it, yeah.
That's
of course.
so toxic. And if we get free of this, and my way was through my religion or through my faith to go and to understand that and really to live like this, not like to talk and to say. I'm not talking to people about this topic. That's my problem. I mean, I'm talking to you, not to my wife, not to my family, because they just don't give a shit about the things I do, specific in this part. But yeah, this is how I work, how I do.
Yeah, what a great tips for people.
Yeah. Which is excuse me, just to round it up is, you know, because I really don't know what's tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, so much things happens in your life. You just can't control. The only thing you can do is to be the best thing now or today. Because I don't know if tomorrow my clients or the second client or my company, like Kickbase, you know, something can happen. I can't predict that, and it will make completely new circumstances. And how can I handle the circumstances?
Circumstances, yeah.
How? And be the best version of myself on this day.
Yep.
And the day after, and the day after, and the day after. And this is just how you going on. And
great, man. Great. I think that the audience would really love this. Yeah, will really love this. Usually in this part of the show, I ask the people where can people find you online. But I think that maybe this would not be the case for this interview. Or could people find you somewhere online? Maybe.
Well, the most easiest thing you can do is just Google my name, and you will get some results on that. So.
Okay, so Google Ante Krišto.
Yes.
Krišto.
With K. Yes.
Yeah, So in Germany you say Kristo, but
Yes.
in Croatian is
Krišto.
Kristo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Krišto. Maybe in the future audience could learn some Croatian words also from us. I think that this would be an interesting to them.
Let's see.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not see the world from this? Why not see what the world looks like from this side of the world and from this part of the world? And the last and the final question that I want to ask you is, what life of your dreams looks like?
Boom. It's wow, that question makes me nervous. I think that everything is in peace. That sounds very pathetic, very emotional.
Yeah. Does it?
But if everything is, for me, peace is a very important KPI in my life. Yeah, and if everything is in peace, then I think that I achieved what I want to achieve. And if this is something I can achieve every day, then this is the goal I have. Like I can achieve every day, and you know, it's not money, it's not business, it's not becoming famous or making impact. It's important, but if that means that I will have a very unpeaceful life, that's the wrong price I'm paying for it. And I'm more than sure, I'm absolutely convinced that it's possible to grow crazy, to achieve crazy thing, but in the same time having a very peaceful, calm life. But it's really based on the decision you're making in your life. And the motivation behind your things, the purpose in your why you're doing things, that this will show you if you made the right decisions or not. Because why do I need like 1,000 employed people, company or whatever, if I'm just having, you know, struggle with everything around me, with my family, with my fifth wife, and whatever things can happen, right, in your life.
Just try for peace.
Yeah.
What a great message, man.
Yeah. Don't cry. Don't cry.
I'm not going to
Here.
cry.
Here.
I'm not going to cry.
Here.
Ante, thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you for that. That's a crazy experience. Really, I need to say that.
It
Was a very crazy. Yeah, sure. Because I'm looking into myself, like I'm a very what's it called, introspective person. It's too much what I'm doing. I know that, but that's a different level. It's very rational. It's like, okay, now you need to think about.
Okay, so I think that you got a little bit more self-aware right now. Yeah. So it is always a thing for me. I want it to be a great experience for the guest, as also as for the audience listening back home or while driving their cars, or maybe you running around right now. Yeah, it's a great way to learn. Thanks again, man. I know that this is not the last time, so this is only the beginning. This is the first one. I think that our audience will know who Ante is in the future. And thanks for really being here.
Thank you for your time. Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.